Okay. So please turn on your mic.
Yeah.
Okay. So good evening, good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So hello viewers and IAS aspirant. I'm your host Vartika Tyagi and welcome to the Career Talk Show once again. Your favorite platform when it comes to UPSC preparation. Preparation for any exam without the perfect strategy is like trying to navigate a maze with a blindfold on, hoping you will stumble upon the exit. Having the right strategy is crucial for any exam. It provides clarity on how, what, and what when to study, maximizing your time and efforts for optimal success on exam day. We have brought you this webinar where we will talk about what strategy to follow now that only 150 days are left for the UPSC Prelims exam. I would like to thank our knowledge partner, AKS IAS Online Khan Market, and Examophobia. I have with myself UPSC mentor who has dedicated more than 15 years in helping aspirant with their UPSC preparation. Currently teaching in AKS IAS, which is one of the most famous IAS coaching institution in Noida. Welcome, Dr. M.A.Srinivasan, sir. Our viewers have been very excited for this webinar, and I have been receiving so many questions from our viewers to ask you. But before we go there, I would like to ask some of my queries to you, if you will allow me.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, sir, so my first question would be, as your subject is history, so my first question would be around that only. How can aspirant effectively leverage their time and resources with a focus on the history section to optimize their preparation and enhance their chances of success?
So, good afternoon, viewers. This is a really, really important question for any student who is trying to get into civil services. Because without solving the history questions, you cannot get through prelims, mains, and interview. History, majority of us feel that history is there only in history subject. No, history is there in each and every component. For example, if you take general essay, what will be there? The first paragraph itself is the historical background of that issue. For example, if you are trying to talk about social issues, some social issue will be having the historical background or setup. Without talking it, you can't enter into the real topic of that that question asked. Okay. Here the question comes. First question, wherever we go as history teachers, the first question is, history is so vast, how to prepare? This is the first question. So let me answer this in a different way. History is vast, but it is not distant. Whose history we are talking about? We are studying the history of India, history of our people, history of us, to be very specific. The problem with understanding history is the pedagogy or the teaching method of history is so routine for time since so many years that it is very, very boring. Like they'll ask you to remember the dates, remembering the names, battles. No, this is not history. History is something else. History is the continuity of our life through ages, very different facets and aspects of life. That is academic aspect, cultural aspect, religion, social, all these aspects put together is history. If you understand what exactly you will be tested in history, that is cultural component of history, mostly. It does not mean that they will not ask any question unrelated to culture. They'll be asking something related to polity, genealogy, or many things. But that is not the main component. Main component is to understand history in socio-economic and political perspective. So here, it is not the question of dates. So what happens when you are taught to just remember dates? You are at loss. you'll be feeling that it is boring. No, don't. One question, one small question, or one small idea or example I take always. When, if you go to a movie, after coming out of that movie, even after 2 years, you never forget the sequence. Why? Because you don't have any problem with the imageries which flow into your mind in a sequence. Even in the film, in the interval, you will not sit and write some notes till now what has happened, and after interval what is the first reel. No, you will not take notes, but you will never forget a film, including the songs, the tunes, because it is fixed in mind with all the imageries. History is one such subject. If you understand history through this understanding, through analogies, imageries, you will never forget. You should have your own screenplay when you study history. So vastness can be encountered, vastness can be countered, vastness can be easily tackled with if you understand history as a story. If you have the sequence, you will never forget. And history is one such beautiful thing. It is like omnipotent one, omnipresent one. For example, as I said in the beginning itself, you have in prelims history component out of 150. Every year you get 18 to 20 questions in history, whether ancient, medieval, or modern. And again in mains, you have general studies. In that, you have history, that is Indian history and world history too, in general history, in general studies. Then again in mock interviews, you will be tested your practical understanding about history. For example, you are from one place. Someone may ask you to which place you belong and can you explain what exactly is your native place having the historical importance. And you may not have that in your textbook, but your perspective you have developed while studying history will help you to answer this question easily. In general studies, in your prelims, in mains, everywhere there is history component. Together put, you can see at least 20 to 30% of the component in UPSC is history. Even in general essay, as I said, historical context is most important one. Without understanding historical context, you can't write anything. For example, you are writing about NATO or Ukraine crisis in international relations that dates back to post Second World War or Cold War period. This is part of your history. So understanding history in right perspective is the right path to clear civil services.
That's very engaging question by you, sir. I answered by you, sir. So my second question would be like preparing for UPSC exam can be stressful for aspirants. How would you guide aspirant in managing stress and maintaining mental well-being? Because mental well-being will be the first priority for many aspirants as they are preparing for a vast syllabus.
First of all, stress is subjective. You can't measure it. Most of the times, what happens is you see the thing as so huge and big, you'll get tired. Forget about it. I never talk about the number of hours you prepare for civil services. I never talk about number of days or weeks or months or years you engage yourself for civil services. I only talk about the involvement of you in the preparation. What do you mean by involvement? Stress is always relative, as I said before. Now coming to the time aspect of it. Most of the students sit and get bored, and finally they feel that we are stressed. We are overstretching ourselves in the preparation. Actually, you have your syllabus before you. You take it as something which you will be dissecting. Yeah, this point of time I am going to talk about it, or think about it, or read about it. That's it. Don't ever try to make it bigger than your understanding. All the subjects, whether it is history, geography, economy, polity, or current affairs, or anything. I only prescribe one thing. I use the word prescribe very, very consciously, that you should thoroughly read whatever you have read at that point of time. That's it. If you are engaging yourself in the study for 2 hours, those 2 hours you should completely engage in that, and you should thoroughly read it, study it, and don't try to again revise it. If you have studied once, it's once for all, you are thorough with that. The next time you study the same topic, it should be something more bigger than what you have studied now, more deeper than what you have studied till now. Then what happens? whatever time you have put in to study will be more useful. And you feel satisfied that I have got something. Otherwise, what happens in general, you engage yourself, you sit for hours together, you have teas, and you burn the night candles like anything. And finally, if you have nothing in the brain, that too, then you feel stressed. Think that this is not 1 year program. Civil services is not 1 year program. It's very, very clear. Because though if you, for example, in the first attempt itself, you clear prelims and mains and interview, even if you get some job, unless and until you get IAS of your choice, of your state cadre or IAS, you are not going to stop. So it's not just 1 year task. It is 2 or 3 years. It is like marathon. In marathon, you will not run at the highest speed at the what you call shot of the gun. So this is a long run. Prepare yourself mentally for 2 or 3 years of study, coolly, with a planned understanding, without stress. That will give you the ultimate advantage. Otherwise, under duress, you can't read anything. So keep this time in sense and thoroughness and long-term plan. Then you will not be stressed. And don't listen to anyone's words that this is the thing, you are not doing right, you are not. This is all, I say this is stupidity. Because everyone is specific, everyone has their specific traits. My own of preparation will be different from your own of your way of preparation. Like that, if 100 people are there, 1,000 are there, 1,000 people will differ in their understanding and their mode of preparation. So there is no single strategy or plan or timetable for it. You have to devise your own so that you will be less stressed.
So, sir, as you just said, the preparation is a marathon, is like a marathon. So, what is your opinion? How would you recommend aspirants to approach the vast syllabus of UPSC? As this, I guess, 150 days are left for the prelims exam.
So this 150 days is crucial now, actually. If someone is going for 2025 or 2024, 2025, it would have been a different one. Since our target is 2024, don't get onto too many materials. Limit your source materials, study materials. Be thorough with that. That is number one. Unless and until you have zeroed upon the basic books or the main books which you are going to complete for your civil services 2024 prelims, you are not going to be, as I said, you'll be more stressed if you have more books to read. Zero upon the main books or the source material, then be thorough with that, number one. Number two, be clear how many hours you are putting it into different subjects. So at times what happens, you may need more time. For example, in the previous years, what we are finding is CSAT is more tougher than the other things. In the last two editions or last 2 years, we have seen most of the students lost CSAT. They could not qualify CSAT. Though they got 80 or 90 or 120, those qualifying marks they are getting in the first paper, but they are not qualifying CSAT. What is the problem here? And very interestingly, most of the student community today come from engineering background, IIT, IIM background. And CSAT is the most easiest thing for them and not an easy task for people like me who came from life science background or arts humanities background. Even the people who came from engineering background, they faltered upon in the CSAT. So this time, I would like to suggest that don't neglect CSAT. Many students, those who are from a convenient background like mathematics background, and they feel that it's very easy. No, don't neglect it. Number one. Number two, select the best, select the subjects which you want to focus upon. Like, for example, if you are confident that within less time, in the next 2 months, you can complete history and geography, then complete history and geography. Then go to the other one. You start from the easiest method. Some people say that start from tough method. No, I don't prescribe that. Everyone should go from the easy to tough. This is the principle in life. And if someone says that you start from tough one, because it is tough, you may take much time, you will be lost forever. You finish whatever you can easily. Then you are sitting pretty on a confident level. Then you go for the tougher ones. This is the easiest and the logical and rational method to understand or to read. So these things. And there is another principle also. As an academician in history, I feel that unless and until you are thorough with geography, or you are well versed, or at least you have some basic knowledge of geography, you can't understand easily history. Otherwise, what will happen? Where do you locate? For example, if I say Tarangam body, that was known as Tranquebar by the Europeans. Tarangam body, if I say Tarangam body, your GPS in mind should just zoom into Tamil Nadu. Understand? Otherwise, Tarangam body will be like anything. It is like some Cape Town in South Africa or some other state, some other town in some other country. So, very interesting thing is, as an academician and who teaches history plus social sciences with a scientific approach in a better pedagogy, I feel that to understand polity, you should have better knowledge of history. To understand history, you should better knowledge of geography. See, three social sciences I have talked about. These three are interlinked. So when you prepare for civil services, prelims, see, can you take these two up one time? That will help. One will help the other subject to history, polity, or history, geography together. Then finish it. Then go for the other subjects. I'm prescribing a what you call a practical way to take the subjects. This is the combination.
Very well said, sir. So, in what way can the understanding of archaeology enhance the aspirant's performance in the history section or in the prelims?
Since my biodata has archaeology in it, you might have asked this question.
Yes, sir.
Most of the students in the coaching classes, they fear if you say archaeology because they don't know or they can't understand the relation between archaeology and history. Most of the questions of history are based on archaeology only. If I talk about one Ashokan pillar inscription, Ashokan pillar inscription is not, it did not come out of some other subject. It came because of archaeology itself. Otherwise, many sites. See, history and archaeology are there inseparable. You can't take out a site and say that we understood Harsha. If I'm talking about Harsha and Thane, sir, if many people from North India, they should be knowing about Thane, sir. Thane, sir is near Kurukshetra. It is a twin town of Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, Thane, sir, these two are twin towns. And understanding Thane, sir, or these things is completely one thing. If you go to Thane, sir, you find the archaeological remains of Harsha ka Tilla bolte hain usko. Harsha ka Tilla is the archaeological site. Now this is archaeology. Based on archaeology only we are talking about this one. For example, in Indus Valley, the latest one, that is Rakhi Gadi. We are talking about Rakhi Gadi means it is because of the excavations we are talking. So we need not talk every time about this is archaeology, this is archaeology. But whatever you have got till date through inscriptions or the material evidences, all this is because of archaeology we are getting. So don't worry about it. Another thing, it's a very relevant question for anthropology too. So most of the students who take up anthropology as their optional, there is a section of it completely archaeology. That section deals with prehistoric times of India, that is Paleolith to Neolith, including megaliths and all these cultures, Zorwe culture, all these things, what you read in history is again asked in anthropology. And this is the archaeological component of history. And at the same time, that is in anthropology. So you see, archaeology is, you can't separate archaeology, it is not a different subject, but it is a foundation for history. So my suggestion for all the aspirants is, if you want to be thorough with the sites, Archaeological Survey of India is there, ASI site is there. All the prelim students, whenever they find time, just click on that. You have so many videos. Every site is explained very with the historical context, very scientifically. Unlike the textbooks or the not textbooks, unlike the books you buy in the market, they might not be accurate. But ASI documentation, ASI's record is accurate. For example, Red Fort. What is the antiquity, or what is the first period you can have at Red Fort? If that is the case, go to ASI site, you will find the early historic evidences at Red Fort excavations. Red Fort in Delhi. Everyone see Red Fort as the Red Fort constructed by Mughal period. But if you go to Red Fort, that is an early historic period excavation is there. There we found early historic evidences. And this is the question you may get. So ASI is a source. Sorry. So archaeology, don't think it's a subject completely different. Is a basis for history and part of anthropology too.
Yes, sir. Indeed, the archaeology is the part of history and they are mostly correlated. So once the prelims exams are over, what guidance would you offer aspirants in terms of transitioning to the mains preparation phase and sustaining momentum for the entire exam process?
Major problem with most of the students is understanding the exam in toto itself. What do I mean in toto? See, most of the students, they think that prelims is different and mains is different. Once we get through prelims, we can clear mains. This understanding is because of the lack of awareness in the subject. See, most of the students who are from different backgrounds, mostly technical or something unrelated backgrounds, are forced to study social sciences like economy, geography, history, polity, all these things. And finally, what is happening? They are what you call dividing the things into some small material, two books or one book, not having the conceptual ideas. See, what I prescribe, what I suggest, or what I understand with the subject is any subject should be read in context. What do I mean by context? Context means when you read some topic, the conceptual aspect of the topic should be understood first. The conceptual aspect will make you thorough with the holistic approach towards the subject. If you understand the concept, number of bits may differ from 100 to 200 or 50 to 70. It is not a big issue. You can remember them. But concept is most important. For example, you take Indus Valley civilization. What is it? At the outset, in one word, if anyone asks you, we say that that is the first urbanization. What is Vedic? This is a rural civilization. Then again, what is Mahajanapada phase or Magar? This is second stage of urbanization. If you have a topic, you should have the broadest aspect or the characteristic of that topic. Then you can go into dive into that subject, dive into the topic with more number of points. So my approach to civil services, not prelims and mains, is study with conceptual understanding. Concept will take you to the correct answer in what you call removing or deleting the wrong answers in the MCQs. Most of the MCQs are very, very tough. You may feel that at least two answers are right, not one. If you don't have the conceptual clarity, there you will be stuck in one or two. That is number one. Number two, if you don't have conceptual clarity, putting all the number of bits related to the topic in mains in descriptive answer will not serve the purpose. The papers will be checked with an analytical perspective. For example, if someone is talking about, again I am taking the Indus Valley itself because this is the first topic, bigger topic. Indus Valley religion. If we are putting all bullet points and they say that this is Indus Valley religion, you may get mediocre marks. You will not stand a chance in clearing the mains. You should be analytical in arguing the question. That is why you look at the mains paper. Every question will have the last sentence: elucidate, explain, critically analyze. Why they have given these words? They are asking you to critically analyze. They are not asking you whatever you know about this topic, put it in bullet points. They are asking you to critically analyze. You may not put number of points, but your critical analysis, your evaluation. This is also another word: evaluate, critically analyze, elucidate, examine. This is the core of the question. So if you have to answer this way, you should have the conceptual clarity. So prelims to mains, you should have the conceptual clarity on the topic. Otherwise, you might clear prelims by hook or crook, because I feel that prelims is a matter of chance. Mains is the matter of choice. This is a very, very conceptual understanding I have developed. You can take this. And if anyone has to discuss this, I am ready to. Because in prelims, let me explain. In prelims, each subject might have 5,000 strong questions. Put it in some number way. So 5 or 6 topics. 6 into 500, 6 into 500 strong, or 1,000, you can say 1,000 bits. 6 into 1,000, 6,000 number of bits are there. How many bits you have to resolve in your prelims? It is hardly 120, because other things are mental ability and other things. So 150 you can say, forget it, sorry, in this you don't have. So 150 out of 6,000, 150 bits. Don't you see there is a huge gap between the number of bits you have to read and the questions you are asked? Here you might be thorough with 5,000 questions. Let me hypothetically, 5,000 questions you can answer. But if these 150 are coming from these 1,000, this chunk, what will be your fate in prelims? You'll be lost. You will not clear prelims, because here there is a chance of, there is an element of chance. Chance means you should get the question which you have read, but in mains it's not like that. Broadly, you can think the questions, number of questions, because it's already the subject is there, syllabus is there. You will have number of questions. What type of questions may come in descriptive questions? So those questions you will prepare, and in the process of preparation, your analytical skills, explanation, your best resource materials, and your writing skills, everything can be shown there. Here I call it as matter of choice. At times you may clear prelims, but if you don't have the conceptual clarity and thoroughness on that particular topic, your answer will be very, very pale. If your answer is very pale, what will happen? Your understanding will not get your marks as required for clearing your mains. That's it. That is why you see most of the times, this is my generalization, looking at the results of your mains, most of the students are dangling around 50%. Every optional or general studies also, no one is excelling in all the papers, or at least 2 or 3 papers, means 70% or 80% they are not getting. Why? Because materials or resources or the source materials are one and the same for all the students, and type of answering is, thinking is the same, critical analysis is same. So how can you expect best marks out of the others? So this is where you should top, means you have to do in a better way. That is, conceptual clarity is the mantra. For prelims to mains, then only you will clear and you will go to mains and interview.
Okay, so conceptual quality is important. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your invaluable insights. We also have some queries from our online viewers, so I would like to ask those questions to you as well.
Yes.
So let me check once. Sir, our one online aspirant is asking, what is the success rate of first-time aspirant?
First time, actually now it is very less. Previously means 20 years back, it was not like that. Let me explain why. Previously, people from different streams like MA, MCom, MSc, pure sciences, everyone used to write civil services. Then level playing field was one and the same for all. They'll be studying at the same. Now what happened is, especially a CSAT like question paper, you have to answer this. This is a very tough one. So people from other streams are not comfortable with this at the same time. This first time means everyone is the what you call, in the past 20 years, our education system has collapsed in such a way that I'm really sorry to say this. Our education system is so collapsed. No one is having the holistic approach to the subject. That is why, though you get 10 out of 10. Your score is A plus, A plus, A plus. Come out of your 10th class, come to sciences, then finally again come to coaching center. You don't remember anything which you have studied in your 10th class. Till 10th class, you have studied history. Most of the times I found that except Ashoka has planted trees, nothing has remained in their brains in history. Now we have to start from the beginning scratch. So that is why what is happening, so much of rat race in all the competitive examinations after plus two, that is MSETs or IITs, JEEs and all those things. People completely are into that rat race and no one is bothered about what is the holistic approach towards society. So that is why what is happening, current affairs has become a subject. This is a tragedy. Current affairs, how can current affairs become a subject? Current affairs is current affairs. If you go to any rural area, any village, those who read newspapers at the tea stalls, they know more things in current affairs than the civil service aspirants today. That is a tragedy. Why? Because no one reads newspapers. If you don't read newspaper, how can you expect that you can answer current affairs in a better way? That is number one. Number two, no holistic approach to the subject in the entire education system for the past 20 years. So I'm saying it with clarity because when I faced civil services, I attempted only once and went up to interview. Later, I thought that I want to continue in academics, so I did not, genuinely. So the first attempt itself, I cleared my prelims, went to mains, then went to interview. How could this happen? Because our approach was completely different. Our holistic approach towards society, studies, this is the one. Now, because we are completely streamlined in a negative way, streamlining is a positive way too, but streamlined in a negative way into your subjects for the past 2 years plus 3 years, that is 3 or 4. So 6 years, you don't have much knowledge about society, much knowledge about other social sciences. Finally, what you have to do is you have to start from scratch and come to the institutions or study on yourself, and success rate is less on the first time. But if you fulfill the criteria what I have said, it is not first or second attempt. It is your holistic approach towards society and subjects will get you success. It can happen in first attempt itself.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Is it
So
is it clear what I have conveyed?
yeah, yes, sir. So, sir, the second question is how to handle negative marking in the UPSC prelims exam.
Again, this answer goes to my conceptual clarity. If you have conceptual clarity, you will have less negative marks. If you don't have conceptual clarity, if you just by hearted the bits, there is scope of negative, your scope of falling a victim to negative marking. Because if you have conceptual clarity, at least you can eliminate the possible wrong answers. Take this, possible wrong answers or possible right answers. Why I have used this possible means if you don't know the answer thoroughly, perfectly, then the question comes whether I can go for what you call go for some random thinking. There, this possible negative, possible wrong, or possible right answer. This is very, very important. What do I say about possible? Why I said possible? If you have conceptual clarity, you can feel that this answer could not be right or should not be right. So conceptual clarity is the only thing. So don't ever attempt to do all the things without knowing, because chances are very high that your negative marking will overshadow your correct answers. But conceptual clarity will definitely, if you don't have a problem, one more trick I tell you, if you are from Hindi states, because you have English and Hindi, both sides, you read, if you don't get clarity on the in the question, if it is English paper, if you are English medium, from English medium, read Hindi one also. That language aspect is very, very what you call useful. Sometimes the word in Hindi may explain what exactly is it. In English, you might not be knowing it. If you are well conversant in English and not Hindi, then if you are from English Hindi medium, but still, that is why this checking in both the languages may help you in going to the possible answer, is right or wrong. But remember, there is always the element of possible only. But the best thing is conceptual clarity will help. Don't try to put all the questions. You will definitely lose.
Okay. So there, one more question is to how to prepare art and culture for UPSC and CSE, and how many questions are asked.
There is no specific formula. For example, first you think about history itself. Lot of times I hear from some teachers and students say that no, modern is important. You should prepare with modern history more than ancient is very less, medieval okay. This formula is really a wrong formula. If someone says, don't listen to them. For the past few years, I have analyzed. You can see AKS website or you can see the YouTube channel. Most of the times, in all years, I have resolved all the questions. Within 4 hours, our key will be there immediately after your prelims. You can go through the key. Out of 18 to 20, sometimes it is 10 from ancient, 4 and 6 from medieval or modern. This is the pattern. See, while preparing the question paper, while formulating the question paper, there is no fixed pattern for them that out of 18, 6, 6, 6 or ancient less, modern more. There is no such pattern. It is a random picking of the questions from the prepared question bank. This is the model I'm telling you. Most of the students don't know how the question paper is set also. So when random picking of numbers, questions are there, the number may differ. Ancient may be more or less. But don't ever think that ancient will be less, medieval some better, then modern will be more. No, that is wrong. In polity and modern history, you might get some questions overlapping. 1 or 2 questions you may solve in polity, and those might be in history too. But it does not mean that you have more in modern. So prepare thoroughly this one. And coming to the art and culture questions. Your examination is thoroughly based on art and culture, but doesn't mean that they will not give you about the reforms. Allow them culture reforms they have given, market reforms they have given. It is neither art nor culture. So that is history. Special emphasis on art and culture is the word they use. Special emphasis means it is not the sole one. So if you understand, thorough study of history is important, but more focus or emphasis on art and culture. How many questions you may get in art and culture? If you want to see, 70 to 80% are related to that. What do you mean by 70 to 80%? Most of the things are sites. Most of the things are inscriptions, are numismatic, or something related to culture. So where do you get? Again, the source materials. As I said, no one uses this ASI site. Archaeological Survey of India site is the best site for your preparation. You have all the archaeological sites in India, which you will get in your examination. That should be one of the source material for you to go through. You have videos. Those videos will help you to create imageries. So art and culture is an important component, no doubt about it. I don't take immediately the percentage, but broadly speaking, 60 to 70% will be art and culture only. Like texts, books, authors, languages, religion. Religion is culture. Social conditions and cultural conditions of people. So all these things fall under category. For example, one question came in the last civil services, I believe. That is civil services or someone. Like Jainism has in Jainism, the soul, so concept of soul is there in running water also. Running streams, all hillocks, they have soul. This is culture. This came in examination. None of the UPSC examination. I don't remember exactly whether it is civil service. So this is culture. So you can't separate culture, economy, and these ones. Read thoroughly with understanding of cultural facets of the period life.
As you said that ASI play a very vital role in the preparation, and self-study plays a very big role in that. So what, in your opinion, what do you think coaching institute are providing enough material and enough, a direction to a aspirant. So one of the aspirant is asking, is coaching necessary for UPSC CSE exam?
Coaching institution is like taking help, additional help for the preparation. If you are confident enough, and if you are what you call confident enough to choose the right sources, right method, right understanding. For example, most of the people listen to the YouTube channels. When you listen to YouTube, there are good YouTube channels, bad YouTube channels. If you are confident about picking the right material, right sources, then I don't mind. But otherwise, teaching is always an additional support for you. Because after some time, after reading for a few hours or few days or few months, you may lose the track. You'll be routine, your study will be routine. But when you listen to someone, whether online, offline, or YouTube, free of cost, I don't mind. That interaction, we call it as samvad or dialogue between the teacher and student. Though you may not ask question, but the questions raised in your head is the samvad between the teacher and the student, between the class and the student. That helps you. So in that way, there is no hard and fast rule that no need of coaching. At the same time, we can't say that coaching is a must. That all depends on how best you can judge yourself.
So, sir, as you have experience of many years and you're currently teaching AKS IAS, what do you think? What AKS IAS is providing to aspirants? What they need?
I think it's 41 minutes since I'm talking.
Yeah.
All these 41 minutes, I never spoke about shortcuts. I never spoke about by hearting things. I never spoke about, yeah, it's very easy to get through civil services just like this. I said there is some plan. I said there should be some clarity. I said there should be some proper understanding. I said you should have conceptual clarity. What does all this mean? All this is nothing but the pedagogy we offer here in AKSI. What do you mean by pedagogy? The approach, the teacher's approach towards the subject. Now forget about the student here. This is again here the teacher's approach to the subject is very, very important. Unless and until the approach of the teacher is correct, perfect towards the students, towards the subject, they can't cater. See, coming and talking about Indus Valley civilization, as you know, is different. Coming and talking about Indus Valley civilization as they require is different. At the same time, you should not compromise on the subject. At the same time, standards of the students. Students in classroom, there are three types of students. Always, this is a very, very common phenomenon which I have faced. A section will be there, those who have read are very sharp to catch the things immediately and they proceed very fast. Middle section will be there. This is a very big chunk, large one. We have to carry them along with. We have to talk specificities and basic points also at times. And last section is a bit, I'm not saying backward, I'm not saying that they are not intelligent, but they require some more time to cope up with things. But whom you are catering here? It is the majority of the sections we have to cater in the classroom. Then automatically the sections which are not able to understand immediately, in the process, they will also raise their level of consciousness. They will also raise their understanding. Then they can also be taken along with. So this is the method we approach here. That is why I said conceptual clarity and pedagogy. These are the two important things for any institution. Number of bits, I don't think that it coaching center can give, because there are so many book centers, so many guides, so many books. If you buy all these books, it will be just around 10,000 or 20,000, not more than that. If you get all the books also, which costs much lesser than a coaching institute. But do you keeping those books with you, will it help in understanding all the subjects, all the questions with conceptual clarity? No. This is where the teaching stands in between the student and the institution.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. As we are on the way to wrap up this webinar, I would like to ask you, what is your opinion to our aspirants? What do you want to say, if you want to say anything to them?
Definitely. See, first thing is be cool. This is the first and foremost thing. Never feel stressed. Because, see, by stressing or stretching yourself, what are you doing? You're harming yourself. You will never get any subject if stress like physical exercise. For example, if you are walking, if you are running for 1 kilometer a day today, tomorrow or after 1 week, we'll ask to improvise it. We have to stretch ourselves physically. But here in mental things, I don't call you for stretching. Whatever you do it in a cool way, better way. You have your plan. Today I will read only this topic. That's it. Don't worry. Don't feel bad when you sleep. The main principle is when you go to bed with a satisfaction that today I have learned this. That's it. Then the next morning will be far better than yesterday because your orientation is towards learning. See, ultimately, what exactly is the thing? Most of the students worry about the marks. See, sometimes we have test series in descriptive. When they get descriptive answers, we correct it. I correct it. And I never give marks to them in descriptive. I say that these are the problems. Correct it. You rectify these things. Then they'll ask, how many marks you give to this? Even in mock interview, they ask me, in many marks for the past 8 years or so, we are regularly doing mock interviews for civil services, and you can see so many people who are successful and IAS, IPS, IFS are there, IRS are there. They are from our institute who attended our mock interviews also. After completion of mock interview, when you switch off the recording, they ask how many marks you'll give to me, sir. No, I don't say I don't give any marks today because this is a relative thing. I might give you 180 out of 250 to you, but it does not mean that your understanding is the same thing. On the day of examination, on the day of interview, you may get more or less. So don't worry about marks. Your knowledge is ultimate. Marks are the byproduct. अगर आप 3 Idiots देखें, उसमें एक प्रिंसिपल है. वो प्रिंसिपल बहुत बढ़िया प्रिंसिपल है. एक्सेलेंस के पीछे भागो, कामयाबी के पीछे नहीं. कामयाबी अपने आप एक्सेलेंस के पीछे आएगा. So try for excellence, not for success. Success is the byproduct. Success is not the virtue, it is a byproduct. Excellence is the virtue. You have to do it. So this is the principle for any student I give who attempt for civil services or any other examination.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for being there. And I'm very glad that I hosted this show with you. So that is it for today. And I hope you have picked up some valuable insights and strategy to crush the UPSC prelims. Remember, you now have just 5 months to give it your all. It's all about you now, aspirants. Your dedication, your hard work, and your smart planning will be the deciding factor. So buckle down and stay focused and believe in your potential. The UPSC dreams is within the reach. And as Sir said, it's up to you. How will you focus on the exam and how will you crack the exam? It's your strategy. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more awesome UPSC content. Like this video if you found it helpful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, the aspirants who have watched this video. Thank you so much.
All the best.